Hi, my name is Jacee Carter and I am a senior at Texas Tech and I attend the Wesley Foundation. I've been here since my freshman year and absolutely love it, and I don't know where I would be without the Wesley actually. So to start my story, I'll go back 10 years. Whenever I was a fourth grader and I was 11, I was in a four-wheeler accident outside of my house in Dimmer City, Texas. And my sister and I had been arguing, and that kind of showed me, to obey your parents and love your sisters and your family and stuff. But it was a really bad accident, and I was airlifted to Lubbock, to Covenant, and I was in a coma for 11 days. In that time, God was so faithful to my whole family, and they knew that I would get better, and they knew that God had a plan for me and for my life and for what He was doing in this time. And then throughout, when I was in the hospital, the doctors told my parents, it'll be a miracle if she wakes up. And then I woke up, and they said, it'll be a miracle if she has brain function. And the only thing I couldn't remember was the accident, and that was of God itself, because there's no reason to want to remember that. And then the doctor said it'll be a miracle if she ever walks again. And after a few months of physical therapy and having metal removed from my legs that had stabilized my bones and stuff, I was running in our 5th grade track meet, and that is God Himself. That's a total miracle that He would just take care of me like that. But because of the wreck, I always thought, God, You had a plan for me, and I knew that it was something big. It was a really hard time for our family, just to see how big God was, and my community banded around me, and it was so good. And then a few years later, I was deciding on where I wanted to go to college, and I knew that I wanted to do radiology, and I knew that I wanted to, or physical therapy or something, because of my wreck. It had showed me what I had a passion for and everything. And Texas Tech didn't have those that I wanted to do. But my older sister had come to Tech, and I knew that I wanted to kind of follow in her footsteps and have that college experience, and I knew that I wanted to be at Tech. So I got here in my first semester. I had started coming to the Wesley because that was the only thing Dondi didn't do. And it's silly now, but she kind of pushed me into the Wesley because she wasn't here, so this was going to be my thing and where I made my name and stuff. Well, at the end of my first semester of my freshman year at Tech, I challenged God, and I said, I'm here for a reason, and I don't know what it is, but if You have it, show me. And He really did. Then the second semester, I started Salt Shaker with the Wesley, which is a discipleship course, and I showed up, and I was ready to see, and I was thinking, God, if You don't do something for me this semester, I'm leaving, and I'm going to transfer, and I'm going to do what I want. And so the first night, we were sharing testimonies, and they said, somebody get up and share theirs. And I am not shy, so I jumped up and went first and started sharing my testimony about my four-wheeler wreck and how that had showed me what I wanted to do with my life and how God had been big for me, and how that was just a passion for me. And then the next day, we were walking up to the waterfalls at Cedar Canyon, and this guy and I were talking, and he said, we were talking about swimming, and I said, yeah, I was a swimmer in Andrews, and he said, oh cool, well I'm from Abilene, and I probably saw you there, and I just commonly mentioned that my oldest sister went to McMurray, and he looked at me and he said, are you related to Kylie? And it really surprised me because everybody knew my middle sister that had come to Tech, that I was trying to get out of her shadow. And I looked at her and I was like, how do you know her? She is 6 years older than us, and that's just really random. And he looked at me and he said, you're the girl in my testimony. And I kind of just was shocked, and I thought, I met you yesterday in the van on the way up here. I don't know what that's about and stuff. But then that night he was sharing his testimony about how my sister had been an intern at the church that he went to in Abilene, and she had shared her testimony about how my four-wheeler wreck and everything after that had changed her heart and her prayer life and her faith in God, and that she knew that he had been bigger than a 10-year-old, you know. And so he was sharing his testimony, and I was sitting on the other side of the room, bawling my eyes out, thinking, God, I've been so selfish up until this point, thinking that you did this for me so that I knew what I was going to do, and that I knew what community was for me then. And it was kind of just shown to me, I did this to set things up for a future for you to be here, and not just for you, but for the people that you don't know that you're going to impact with it. And so after he finished sharing his testimony, I was talking with him, and he said, and I just told him that he'd changed my heart about it, that it just totally surprised me that God had a plan for so long, you know. And he said, you know, I never thought that I would meet you. And I laughed at him, and I said, I didn't even know that you existed. And as soon as I got back, I started sharing this story with everyone that I knew, because who's gonna believe such a coincidence? Which I know it's not. But so since then, I kind of realized, like, I challenged God, and I told him, show me the reason I'm here and show me why. And he kind of just, God laughed at me again, you know, and he said, I've been setting this up for you for years before you could even see the end picture. And there's a reason that you're here, and there's a reason that you're serving me here. And so since my freshman year, I got on leadership, and have been a part of hopefully spreading the word that God has for me. It's been a really crazy journey to see what college would be like without this. I know that I can't even say that I know where I would be, but thanks, Wesley.